I mean, we are so close to Madden 22 being here, and I'm pretty excited, and I hope you guys are excited too. But as we get closer, obviously more information is going to drop, whether it's from EA or in this case from Mutt Leaks. If you guys don't know what Mutt Leaks is, it's someone who they find a way to get information. I don't know what he does, but he does. So let's talk about it. Again, this is going to be about us who are spending for the most part. We'll have a little bit of coinage to spend here. Let's see what we can get. Lots of team builders. Lots of team builders. If you're looking to build the best team in Madden, make sure you head over to moexp.com to avoid the packs and save some racks. Use code CC for 5% off. Link is in the description below. Fastest coins, cheapest coins. Use code CC. We'll see you guys on the sticks. 5% off. Be great. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We are here talking about team builders and some other information that has dropped out today. Again, this is about having the coins to be able to get some of these team builders, right? And there's going to be a lot of good ones probably. Now, we don't know the stats, so that's unfortunate, but we will obviously find the stats. And once we do find the stats, maybe we'll sort of change our opinion on some of this stuff. But make sure you hit the like and make sure you are subscribed for Madden 22 as we roll into it all. It's going to be a lot of fun. But team builders, we knew they were going to be here. We've seen some previews of some, and some of them look really good. But we got a list that it looks almost complete, we'll say almost complete. Now, keep in mind with these cards, again, we don't know the stats on them. We don't know how fast they are, or what their coverage stats, or their speed for a running back or something like that. But there's a lot of really good names in here. And again, so if you're going to have the coins to kind of get these cards what you want, imagine the price being to do a set for team builder around 50K. Now, you're also going to be able to get one for free. Now, if you are spending, maybe you don't want to go through the process of getting the free one, right? And the reason I say that is last year, it was really, really time consuming. It was, I want to say it was like 16 full games for free 84, which was just too much last year. So we didn't do it even though no money spent last year. But I feel like this year it's going to be a bit easier. Should be, hopefully. Yes, cool, awesome. But we see some of these names up here. And I'm just going to highlight a few names of the cards that I think could be good. Again, out of the gate. Now, again, we're talking about like a main team here. I don't want to say a god squad necessarily, but we're talking about a pretty decent teams that we're going to have. So for like running back, you know, you may have a Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, someone like that, maybe both, right? But if you're looking for depth on here, Antonio Gibson might be a really good card. Last year he was a receiving back, so if he gets that same archetype this year, again, he could fall into that. We don't really know at what tier. Will he be able to get, you know, the running back route apprentice, basically? I don't know, right? But then we're also going to see some other cards here. One that really caught my eye was Justin Fields, okay? Now, a lot of us are going to be using Mahomes, or maybe you're using Trevor Lawrence to start until the Russell Wilson or a legend quarterback, whatever comes out. But that Justin Fields is going to be nice for a QB2. Again, by having a QB2 at this point in the game is totally a luxury. But Fields will be very fast, and having that little speed out there, because so many of the playbooks now have read options or some other stuff like that as well. So being able to use that to your advantage with the Justin Fields out there is indeed key, and he should be the fastest quarterback in the game at launch. So that rings a bell to me there. But again, we also want to focus on some of these other cards. We know they're 84 overalls. So they're not the highest overall cards in the game or the highest overall cards at their positions. But early on, what we are worried about is two things. One, we always care about speed. And two, we care about thresholds, right? And a lot of the cards that are in the game at launch aren't going to be able to hit thresholds. That's just the way it is. So if you can't hit a threshold, I don't want an 84 speed cornerback. Give me 88, 89 speed. And that's what we're going to see some of these guys out here. For us, the Falcons, Fabian Moreau, L'Jarius Sneed, Jonathan Jones, just to name a few, right? Same way as we go through safety with Darnell Savage, could be the guy that everyone has on their team. Very, very much so. Also, slightly more budgety tight ends, OJ Howard, right? I always really like OJ Howard's cards. I've said that multiple times across multiple videos that I really like that. Now, there's going to be some linemen and some fullback, and if you're overall chasing, you're going to get the fullbacks, potentially, right? The linemen, maybe we'll see. how they sort of stack up. Again, I don't really care so much about overall alignment for a while. I really care about just what the stats say. And sometimes the stats inflate linemen's overall. And I don't really want someone who's really good at one thing and bad at another thing, right? I take a little bit of balance on here and be willing to use, you know, an ability on them. And again, it's going to depend what abilities they can get at this overall. If they can't get abilities at 84, at least useful ones, there's not much we can do about that, right? But we may be able to fill our guard spots or our center spot or something like that. But our tackles, we're probably going to want to be throwing abilities on them since the AP limit is going to be 12, okay? So there's a lot of cards in here. You guys can go take a look and see some of these. Again, expect some to be good, some to not to be good. We're actually going to have to see everything on there. But we also were shown this gigantic screen here, and you're not going to be able to see everything on here. But for all the correlates, okay? So it's not just even correlates. Like there's the ones that we see for like Devontae Smith, right? His power up and stuff is in here. You can go through over on Mutt Leaks on Twitter, and you can find who's out there for your team and how many people are going to be out there for the team. I think for the Falcons it was 8. I saw the Ravens was 19 total players. But again, I'm always going to advise trying to build a theme team early on, because you aren't going to be able to get all the depths you really need to play accurately. One speed and some whatever else the boosts are, it's not worth it early on. Trust me on that, please, please, please. But the other thing we got to see here was campaign. Okay. So let's just pull up the name list on here. This will be easier. So campaign, I have some questions on still, and since we don't know, I'm not going to overly speculate on it. We don't know how many campaign players you can get. We see this is a great list of names, right? But the way that campaign works is you're able to get a lower version of a card and upgrade it into a nat version of their base elite. Someone like Jair Alexander, right? 87 overall corner. He's kind of a guy I want on my team. But what is the cost to take that campaign player and upgrade him here? I don't exactly know. It's going to be a couple of elite cards and low stuff. So again, as you're opening these team fantasy packs early on, just keep that in mind. You'll be able to see these in the sets and the requirements for upgrading to each of these players. And we only did see low cards, but we saw it for Minka. They previewed his set, and there was an elite card in there. So I imagine that for Jair Alexander, Travis Kelce, some of these higher rated cards, that's going to be it. But this gives you a good way to get it. Now, can you only get one, or can you get more? Again, I do not know. I don't know where I would want my head to be, if you can get more than one or not. But for us who are opening packs and all that, this might be a good way to take some of that pack trash, instead of converting it to coins, getting a nat version of a card. And it may also then boost up the value of some of these pack trash cards. Some of these golds and these low elites, they may actually have a little bit more value because of a set like this, which is great for us, because as we're opening bundles, we want to start building our team and building our coin stack. Coin is indeed king, and that is what we're going to focus on completely. We want coins. We need coins, because there's going to be some cards that are going to drop fairly soon after, which are going to have a decent price on them, and we want to be able to afford those cards if we want. Not saying buy every new card, it's never a thing, but you would like to be able to afford it, right? Again, it's a, think of it in a real world situation to me, where I talk about like a Ferrari or Lamborghini, right? Would I like to have one? Sure. But I would much rather be able to afford to have one, right? If I wanted to make that purchase, I could. And that's the place we want to be coin-wise early on in the game. At least by August 25th, we want to have a decent coin stack going, so that when these legends and all this other stuff is coming out, we can make those choices and we're not putting ourselves at zero, right? That makes sense. So some of these cards could be really good. Depending on how it is, depending on how easy campaign is, at least you'll be able to get one and then take your trash there. Again, if you're opening your pre-order fantasy packs, or you're opening gridiron or elite packs, whatever's in the store, you'll be able to make this work and upgrade some of these cards. Again, these cards, when converted, are non-auctionable, non-tradable. Okay. But the good thing with that early on is that normally means that they're a lower price too, and I'm okay with the lower price. And if I only get one, I want to pick someone that I feel like has potential to be on my team for a longer time. Not the entire time. I can't predict the way that all of MUT 22 is going to work. But I want a card that's going to have a lifespan on it. How long can I use Jair Alexander for? If my cost is 80k versus 200k. Well, hopefully a while, maybe even as he goes down to CB4 and 5 in a bit. That's cool. He still exists. We can still use him. That's great, right? So I hope this all helps here. Again, we're 4 days away. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. We'll make it. Be great. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.